Microfinance has long been touted as a key tool in the fight against poverty. Its supporters believe the system of small loans made to poor but talented groups can be crucial in lifting their living standards.
We find that poor people have tremendous skills that in fact most of them are already self-employed. And what we are doing is simply providing them additional working capital so they can grow their small village store, they can increase the number of cattle they might have, they can expand a trading business that they might do.
29-year-old Rani has taken a one-year loan of $150 to start tailoring. This gives her a steady source of income that supports her family.
డబ్బులకు ప్రాబ్లం ఉండే ఇప్పుడు లోన్ తీసుకొని ఈ బ్యాంగిల్ స్టోర్ పెట్టుకొని ఈ బ్లౌజ్ స్టిచ్చింగ్ ఇవన్నీ చేస్తున్నా ఇంట్లకు మంచిగా నడుస్తుంది పిల్లల స్కూల్ ఫీజులు ఇట్లా మంచిగా.
But not all microfinance institutions or MFIs are well managed. Microcredit Ratings International is the world leader in risk assessments of MFIs. Often it finds their internal systems are just not up to the mark.
It's actually quite a difficult industry to monitor. That's partly because the management systems that are in use by most institutions are not as good as those of banks. Quite often the accounts are not as well kept and then not as well audited either.
In India, microfinance can play a vital role in improving financial access, particularly in rural areas that are undersupplied with banks. However, 2 MFIs in the state of Andhra Pradesh were shut down recently by the local administration for using coercive methods to recover their dues, repayments that can often be steep. One of the key problems with microfinance institutions is the high rate of interest that they charge, which can go up as high as 28%. The poor often have no other choice since village moneylenders charge 5 times as much. But MFIs say they charge a high interest rate because they borrow their funds from commercial banks, and it costs them a lot to service customers who are widely dispersed.
We pay 12 to 13% to the banks on the funds we borrow. Apart from that, almost 7 to 8% is the operating costs, because when we go to a single client, even if we give a 500 rupee loan, we need to travel 20 to 25 kilometers.
The biggest rival to the microfinance model is the extensive network of women self-help groups across the villages of Andhra Pradesh. These are local micro-savings entities recognized by the state government. The biggest difference is that unlike MFIs, which are not allowed to offer savings accounts to their customers, self-help groups can open bank accounts. They can also take loans of up to $8,000 from mainstream commercial banks. And the state government even subsidizes the rate of interest.
3% we are charging. Actually, we are charging 10% and the government reimbursing the remainder. We are charging 3%.
Despite the perception that making business loans to the poor is a bad bet, profits of MFIs rival those of commercial banks. MFIs are partnering with large financial corporations to expand the services they offer. India's leading private bank, ICICI Bank, has tied up with a few MFIs and provided them $600 million in capital.
What this partnership model does is they don't have to raise capital anymore. It's actually my capital. He just disburses it directly to the client. The client signs a document with ICICI Bank borrowing money at the rate of interest that I would lend money to any player in the system, anywhere between 10 to 12%. The microfinance institution charges the client an extra service charge. And from my perspective, it's like a branch.
A major selling point of microfinance is its ability to empower women. It does increase their bargaining power within the home and their self-esteem. Yet often the men retain control over family businesses, with women merely put forward as the public face in order to access funds. Latifa is a member of a local microfinance group. In spite of bringing in 2 much-needed loans for her family-run eating house, she cannot even visit it. Her husband and 2 sons refuse to let her anywhere near it, let alone have a say in managing the business.
नहीं अब हमारे सनातन चल रहा भाई हमारे दादा परदादा के लोग से हमारे पास लेडीज बाजार में आके काम नहीं करते उनको भी हम नहीं करा रहे तक घर में करके देते पूरा मटेरियल आता बनाने के लिए भाई घर में बना के देते या हम लेकर के बेचते
Another problem with microfinance is that its clients usually compete with all the other self-employed poor people in entry-level trades. Most operate at too small a scale to achieve efficiencies and therefore make meager earnings.
It's a means to an end. Microfinance will enable people to invest, and investing in particular in good economic activities enables people to come out of poverty. But that's not finance alone. For that, they need, in addition to the finance, they need additional support structures, they need skills, they need training.
The fact is, most microfinance clients would gladly take a factory job if it were available. Creating opportunities for steady employment at reasonable wages is perhaps a more reliable route out of poverty. Microfinance is certainly a noble idea and a genuine innovation that helps the poor. But the critical issue is whether microfinance helps eradicate poverty. And on that front, it perhaps falls short.